New Year, how's it going? So, what I want to do today is walk you through 10 important habits that are going to help you completely transform your body in 2025, get you lean, get you athletic, build a great physique, and feel as confident as you can going into the summer months. So, little background on me if you don't know much about me. This was me, maybe, I don't even know what age this was actually. This might have been like, I'm 29 now. So, fuck, that's a long time ago. That must have been like, I don't know, 12, 13, maybe less, I don't know. But I was the skinniest kid that ever lived, potentially, right? I wasn't confident in myself, didn't like my body. Long story short, I'd love to say that I went from this to this, but my journey's gone on many different forms, right? I've gone from this. At the age of 17, I started the gym, built a lot of muscle, got really, really strong, got into powerlifting. Arguably a lot better shape than I am now. Not that I'm not in great shape now. I'm happy with where I am. Then I went traveling, fell off the rails, got injured a lot, stopped training, stopped taking care of my body properly, and then lost all of the muscle mass that I built and started from square one. And then over the last year and a half, I've built back up to this, which I'm not where I want to be, but I feel much more confident. I'm leaner. My productivity, my focus, my energy, everything is where I want it to be. I'm by no means a bodybuilder. I don't coach bodybuilders. I don't want to live or look like a bodybuilder. That is not my goal. My goal is just be lean, be confident, be athletic, be fit, be strong, and use that as like the tool to level up my life in all areas, basically. So if you're looking for bodybuilding advice, I'm not the guy for you. But little background on me as well is this is what I do. These are the people I help, right? So obviously I've got a lot more clients than just these guys, but helping guys get into peak physical condition in our Project Limitless program. So I've coached a lot of people over the last 4 years, and it's been the best and most fulfilling thing I've ever done. So this is why I believe, anyway, you should listen to me for the next 10 slides and don't skip it. It's going to really help you in 2025. So number one, when you want to get in the best condition possible, is set and define an end date. So many people, right, maybe yourself included, has gone through these like fitness sort of phases, right? You say, right, I'm going to lose some fat, you jump into it, and then you want to get in shape, but there's no specific time frame, there's no specific goal. What that means is that it's easy to say, fuck it, yeah, I'll say yes to going down the pub with my mates and having a few pints if they call me or they text me. It means that you'll snack because why not? Like there's no actual urgency. But when you set a specific time frame, it will literally pull you into alignment with the program you're following. It will give urgency. You'll act like you want the result tomorrow. And because like, right, it's going to be done in say 3 months, it means that you'll be able to say no to those beers. You'll be able to even just have one of them, right, instead of 10. You'll be able to be more disciplined with the plan you've set and go all in, right? I love that mentality, go all in, and it'll make a huge difference with your results. I've always seen that with myself and with clients too. If it's not clearly defined, don't be surprised if you quit or you just don't get there. So this is a key aspect, and this is kind of like the tracker we use with clients where this client, we've mapped out all the phases. He knows when he's dieting. He knows that it's going to end at 80 kilos on the 3rd of March in this year, right? So that's a good way to do it. Number 2 is predominantly whole foods diet. I'm not Eddie Abu. I don't preach that you can't have some chocolate, you can't have some ice cream. Like, you've got to live a little, you've got to enjoy your life, right? But for me, this is a way of life. So like, I've always eaten like this. I love eating whole food, so I don't feel like I'm dieting. It's just what I love doing. But the reason why I say this is because there are literally studies that show that the more palatable your diet is, so the more processed stuff you have, there's a good chance you're going to crave that stuff more, which are a lot higher calories, leads to a lack of energy, poor gym performance and stuff like that. And it makes fat loss, like, trust me, a million times harder. So don't give in to like this whole flexible approach. When I say flexible, people that eat pizza and burgers most days and chocolate and stuff like that every single day, those are the people that struggle to stick to a diet. Eat things that are nutritious, that make you feel good, that you can digest, that allow you to perform well in the gym. And I guarantee you a diet then becomes easy to stick to and you'll get in much better shape following this kind of approach. So I always say, like, this is like 90% of it or more, and then with the other percent, have a bit of chocolate every day, have a meal out on the weekend with your mates, have a little bit of alcohol, whatever it is you want. But like, most of the time following this is going to have you getting in the best shape possible. The third one is aiming for 0.5 to 1% of fat loss a week. This is the sweet spot for me, because if you're aiming for that amount, it's not too slow where you want to give up. It's not too quick where you're going to lose muscle mass and feel like shit and then have to give up your life, which is not the goal. It's like a sweet spot where you can feel good. You don't feel like you're dieting for the most part. You've got energy, so you can hit the gym hard and build muscle, which is exactly what you want to be doing as you're losing body fat. It's not just, this isn't weight loss, right? This is fat loss, losing fat, building muscle, the best of both worlds. So this is the sweet spot you want to aim for in 2025 every single week for the majority of the time. Setting non-negotiables, like this is the big like mindset thing, right? Is like being really clear on what are your daily habits, what are the things that are going to move you forward. So like having a step count, having how many sessions you're going to hit the gym in the week, nutrition targets you need to hit for protein, your calories every day, how much water you're going to drink. Like, what are the non-negotiables? And it doesn't have to be like a massive list. Like, don't overwhelm yourself. I've done that. It's fucking impossible. But like, just give yourself the most simple, easiest task to say, right, every week and every day I will tick these off. And it doesn't matter how busy I am. I will always drink 3 liters of water. I will always hit 8K steps minimum. Like, set the minimum standard for that as well. And then actually like follow what this says. It's a non-negotiable thing. So it doesn't matter if it's a long day, it doesn't matter if you're tired. If you've got 500 steps to get in, if that's your non-negotiable that you've set as realistic for you and not me, right, then you have to go and get that done. So these things really help you be consistent on a day-to-day basis and set the standard for yourself. Training 3 times a week minimum. So I'm not saying don't train 5-6 days a week. If you've got time to do that, if you're more experienced, if you enjoy just training more, I'm all for it, right? But for the 90% of us, like myself included, I'm not a bodybuilder, like I said. I don't want to be a bodybuilder. I don't want to train 7 days a week. I would rather train 3 to 4 days a week, 30 to 45 minutes at a time, hitting it hard in the gym, building muscle, and recovering the rest of the time, or using that time to work, spend time with family and friends, do some cardio as well for recovery. Like, though, that's how I would recommend it, is like 3 days a week as your minimum standard. And again, it frees up loads of time outside of that. That's full body days. It could be upper, lower, whatever splits you want. The main thing is 3 days a week is a minimum standard. Creating a bulletproof structure. Like, all of these things are cool. Like, non-negotiables are cool. Hitting the gym's cool. All this stuff's important, but you need a bulletproof structure, which basically means you need a system or a framework, or a weekly plan, so you know what you're doing. Like, people only succeed when they've got clarity and they're not winging it. Like, winging it can get you a certain way, but you just can't get that far with it. I've tried it. It's not that good. So every day, like, this is kind of like my calendar from a few months back, is like every day I know what tasks I'm doing with my work, my personal life, when I'm hitting the gym, what times there are. So I'm like time blocking that stuff. So I'm like ultra specific. So every day I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not having to think about what to do. I'm just following what I've set in place. And that is going to just drive consistency. Again, is a key word in this sort of like webinar. That's going to drive consistency and help you hit the task that you need to. Does that mean that, you're going to hit this 100% every time? No, like, shit goes tits up a lot of the time. So if you miss a gym one day for whatever reason, okay, cool, when can I go next? But just use this as your structure. What works best for you? It's not about me or anyone else. It's like, what works best for you? Figure that out and get it down on paper, get it down in a calendar, notes on your phone, whatever, and just always keep it in plain sight. Have a plan for the day. Minimizing alcohol, right? I used to drink a lot of alcohol. I barely drink anymore. Got no issues with people that do. Like, it's each to their own, right? But like, for me, it killed my energy. It killed my motivation. I was always eating shit on the weekends and binging on food, takeaways and stuff like that. I'd feel half human by like Tuesday, and I'd feel like full human by Thursday, and then I'd be out on Friday, and then it would just restart the cycle. And I wasn't showing up as the best person I wanted to be. My gym performance would suffer. I just didn't feel good, right? So you don't need me to tell you that it's not the best thing to do if you want to get in great shape, right? And you want to feel good as well. It literally would help you do the opposite of that. So just minimize it. Doesn't mean you have to give it up, but like, instead of binge drinking on the weekends, set yourself a drink limit, have a couple. I probably have like a pint a weekend, and that pretty much is it, because I just enjoy the taste now. But if this is like a superpower, like if you can control how much you drink, or you don't drink at all, it's so easy to fucking stick to a plan. It's so much easier to get up early. It's so much easier to hit the gym hard. It's so much easier to stick to your food, because you're not always craving shit. Like, trust me, this has been the biggest game changer for me over the last, I'd say, like 2 years since I've slowly started drinking less and less and less. Protecting your sleep, and that kind of feeds back into the last one. Protecting your sleep at all costs and having like a real routine, because the more you control your sleep, again, the more energy you have. You'll lose fat, recover, and build muscle easier. And a plan is a lot easier to stick to when you're not hungry all the time. Don't know about you, but if I have like a bad night's sleep, I'll be like craving sweet stuff or sugary stuff, and I just feel a lot hungrier the next day. So if you can have a really good sleep routine nailed, you can improve your recovery from the gym when you're hitting it nice and hard. It will be, again, easier to stick to a diet, easier to get in better shape as well, because recovery is so key. You don't build muscle in the gym. The gym is where you stimulate your body. It's when you recover, and sleep's the best way to do that. Reflecting on your week. So once you've gone through every week, maybe like a Sunday, depending on your work schedule, if you work on 9 to 5, but I always reflect on my week, and I do it with all my clients as well. And we do like a weekly pit stops. This is like, we did maybe like 10 or 11 questions. It's like the first 3. But basically, first question, what are you proud of? What's the biggest achievements in the week? Reflect on that. It's always positive to know, like, what did you do really well? Don't be that person that's just like, it's stupid to do that. It ain't stupid, because, if you've done something well, it's important to know what you're doing well. It's kind of like gratitude. If you focus on the good things, more good things will happen to you. So list down things that you thought went really well. Rate your week out of 10. Ask yourself, why did I do so well this week? So like, when you're having a good week, it's always good to ask yourself, like, why did that actually happen? Because then there's more chance of you understanding how you can make that continue to happen as well. But then also ask yourself, what didn't go so well? Why didn't it go well? Did you overeat? Did you binge on alcohol? Did you not set clear boundaries with your friends or whatever? That allows you then to look at your progress, see, again, are you moving forwards or backwards with the 0.5 to 1% loss? Or your gym progress, or whatever it is you're reflecting on, and then say, right, what's 1 to 3 things I need to focus on this week? Again, everything is about clarity. Every week, give yourself a target and do your damn best to stick to that as well. And the last one is accuracy, because accuracy is pretty much everything when it comes to fat loss and improving your body shape and your health. So that means like accurate with your food. So that, for example, would be like tracking everything you eat, weighing everything to the gram, being really accurate, really specific with that. Because then you'll know what's working, and there's more chance of what you're doing to actually work as well. Accurate with getting your gym sessions in, your steps. And I don't mean like if you've got 10,000 steps a day, you have to jump in bed after 9,999 steps. That's obviously ridiculous. But it just means like track these things so you'll know you're very close to them most of the time. The more consistently close you are to your targets, like the more consistent your results will be. And when you're not seeing the results because you've been consistent with tracking stuff, you know what to tweak. If you're that guy who's like fucking all over the place, then you'll think, well, I'm not progressing, but you don't know why that is, because you're not tracking how many steps you're doing, you're not tracking how much food you're eating, and then it's a game of like guessing. Nobody wants to guess, right? Guessing doesn't really get you anywhere, it gets you poor results. So those are the 10 key things that I think in 2025 you've really got to like double down and focus on, and they will help you get to that next level with your body transformation, trust me. So one thing I want to offer you, don't worry, I'm not going to pitch to you or anything like that, but I'm offering free roadmap calls in January, just in January, where we can jump on a call, go really deep into like what you're currently doing, where you want to get to, what you're struggling with, what the biggest barriers are, help put a bit of a roadmap in place through a bit of a strategy so you're not left winging it, because trust me, winging it again is not the best thing to do. I won't pitch to you. This is not, I'm not going to pitch to you at the end of the call. It generally is just a free call to kind of help you out. If it's something that you do want to discuss in terms of my services and how I can potentially help you one-to-one, we can chat about that at a later date. But like I said, I'm only giving away 5 of these calls in January. So if you want one, just DM me or drop a comment below on this YouTube video saying like roadmap or something like that, and then we'll get it organised. So thank you for listening. And if there's any other questions that you got, just ping it below.